Hey, have you ever stared at that sleek Ebike in the storefront window and thought, maybe this could finally replace my daily commute, but what if it's just another fancy piece of metal that'll disappoint me after a few weeks? I've been there trying to figure out whether a $500+ electric bike is worth the cash or if I'm just throwing money at hype. That's why I dug into the Jasion Roamer ST, walked a few miles on it, and scanned the specs and community chatter before hitting record. If you want to check the product details on Amazon, the link is in the description. First off, the Roamer ST is marketed as a city cruiser that can sprint up to 28 miles per hour and travel 62 miles on a single charge. Those numbers sound impressive until you realize they're derived from ideal lab conditions: flat pavement, no wind, and a perfectly balanced rider. In the real world, especially if you're lugging a backpack, climbing a hill, or navigating stop-and-go traffic, you'll see those figures drop a bit. That's not a flaw, it's just how electric bikes work. What matters is how the bike feels when you're actually using it for the things you need it for: commuting, weekend rides, or a quick grocery run. Who should consider the Roamer ST? If you're an adult who lives in a suburban area with mild hills, needs a reliable ride that can replace a car for short to medium trips, and you value a bike that's mostly ready to ride out of the box, this could be a solid match. The 48V11A removable battery is a nice touch. Swap it for a fresh pack at work or home without waiting for a trickle charge. The 7-speed transmission also gives you a mechanical fallback for those moments when the motor's assistance feels too timid, like when you're descending a steep street or need a quick burst without draining the battery. On the flip side, if you're a hardcore mountain biker who spends every weekend on technical trails, or you need a bike that can haul a heavy cargo load, the Roamer ST may feel under-engineered. Its 1200W peak motor is respectable for a commuter, but it's not the same as a dedicated off-road motor that can hold torque on rough terrain for hours. Likewise, the 26-inch, 1.95-inch tires are more suited to city streets than mud or loose gravel. The front suspension does smooth out potholes, but it won't give you the same confidence on a rocky path that a dual-suspension mountain bike would. Let's talk about the everyday experience. When I first hopped on, the LCD digital display caught my eye. It's clean, shows battery percentage, speed, and pedal assist level, and the button layout is intuitive enough that you don't have to stare at a manual while trying to merge into traffic. The dual disc brakes are another highlight. In dry city conditions they stop the bike smoothly, and even when the road gets wet, the lever feel remains consistent. That consistency is vital. You don't want a bike that feels like it's losing brake power because the pads are getting a little damp. Range is a huge deciding factor for many buyers. The manufacturer claims 62 miles, but in my daily test about 20 miles of mixed city riding with a light backpack and occasional hill climbs, I saw the battery dip to around 50% after the first 15 miles. That's still a respectable distance for a commuter, especially if you have the ability to charge at work. The battery's removable nature means you can bring it indoors to charge, which is a practical advantage if you don't have a dedicated bike rack with power. However, keep in mind that the 11Ah capacity isn't massive. If you plan on long weekend trips where you'll be out for 810 hours, you'll either need to carry a spare pack or plan charging stops. One of the quirks I noticed is the lighting system. It boasts a 180-degree night lighting array, which is bright enough to make you visible on dimly lit streets. The lights are integrated into the front fork and rear hub, so there's no extra mounting required. That said, the light pattern leans more toward a broad floodlight than a focused beam, which means you'll illuminate a wide swath of the road but won't cut through fog as sharply as a dedicated headlamp would. For most city riders this is fine, but if you frequently ride on poorly lit rural roads, you might want to add a supplemental front light. Now, let's get into the hidden trade-offs. The Roamer ST ships about 95% pre-assembled, which sounds like a convenience perk, but it also means you have limited flexibility in customizing the bike before you start riding. If you like adjusting the handlebar width, swapping the seat post, or installing a rack, you'll need to do it after the fact, and the bike's frame geometry designed for a commuter posture might not accommodate certain accessories as cleanly as a more modular platform would. The frame itself is made of lightweight aluminum, which keeps the overall weight around the 45-pound mark. That's light enough to lift onto A.